Hi there, my name is Leela and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And this is another one of my ongoing guides to Big Finish. Big Finish is a company that I quite like. I would say I like a lot. They produce audio drama. That's not just like a book on tape. They produce a full immersive full cast audio drama with like soundscapes. The quality of their product is really just excellent. They do mainly licensed products. So these guys have been mostly focusing on Doctor Who or the spin-off. The last one they did was Blake Seven, and that was pretty darn good as well. So the trouble with Big Finish is this: they've been going over 20 years now. And listen, I was lucky. I jumped on the Big Finish bandwagon right from the beginning, right from when they did their pre-Doctor Who releases, the first Bernie Summerfield ones, and they came in cassette. I really wish I kept them, as like a little memento, a little curio. So they grew and grew and grew, and now they just have a massive sea of content, which I think if you're new to Big Finish, it's just impenetrable, absolutely impenetrable. So I've been doing a bunch of guides to help you, stick your toes in and find out more about what they're doing. So this week we're going to be talking about the War Doctor. It's I think this is the pinnacle of Big Finish. I think this is amongst their best work, and I would call everything in this range, which is short, which is small, an absolute must listen. An absolute, it's totally worth both your time and money. And if you see my other reviews, I don't say that. I don't say that lightly. Fine. So before we get in, can I ask you guys, can you hit the subscribe button? That'll be fan-dabby double dozy. Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful to each and every one of you that subscribes. Now I say that in all my videos, and it does sound very rote, and I'm always worried about it, because I actually am. I am genuinely, if you hit that subscribe button, I get very tingly and very happy. I would say, quite pathetically so. But thank you very much to everybody who does that. There's also the like button and the share button. I like those too. They are good. But the subscribe button, that's the one that makes a rabbi smile. So that's your first advantage of clicking the subscribe button. The second advantage, other than having a conduit to my sparkling commentary and thoughts on the world in general. Other than that, you can also enter to win my weekly competition. So the prize this week is pretty darn good, but I always say that because I like all my prizes, because all my prizes are things that I've bought. So I bought because I wanted them, and I like, oh, that's good, I like that. So the prize this week is America, Judgde Dredd America. This is an absolute core Judgde Dredd story. If you've never read Judgde Dredd before, this is the one I think you want to jump in on, because other than having fantastic artwork by Colin Macneil, but it really gets into the what's great about Judgde Dredd. It's got the sci-fi action and the violence, but essentially Judgde Dredd is a fascist cop in a totalitarian future, and this book very, very pointedly deals with that, and it's I would say, as well as being entertaining, which it is, it's just tons of entertainment. It's interesting. It gives you new things to think about. So I recommend it. Well, of course, I recommend it because I bought it. So anyway, all you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel, and then in the comments, leave the hashtag Democracy Now. Also, go check the video notes. There is a audio story for you to download called Sapphire and Steel. All Fall Down? I can't remember what the name of it is. This was a range also by Big Finish, but it's out of license, out of print. You can't buy it. You can't even get a digital copy. You'll have trouble finding it on eBay as well. So go ahead, download it and enjoy it. I would just say, if you download and enjoy it, and you really should, because it's great. And then Big Finish ever gets the license back, then go over there and buy yourself a digital copy, just so nice and kosher. In fact, if you download and enjoy it, they're never getting the license back. They are never getting the license. Go there, buy one. There's tons and tons of cheap stuff that you can get for $2.99. So if you like it, if not, I guess come there to them. You can do whatever you want. Fine. So let's start talking about this range. So this range, I call it the pinnacle of Big Finish, because it's an entire era, an entire Doctor that we would never have got to hear, or got to experience without them. And that they rushed to do it. They rushed to do it as soon as they could. I'm really glad they did, obviously, because John Hurt passed away shortly thereafter, and his performance is just fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be reading the synopsis of the stories as we go through them. But I'm also going to be showing you the covers, because they used to do individual covers because of Brexit. They had to do it. They had to stop doing them. These ones are all particularly good. But let me show you the one for the first story. The Innocent. So this entire box set is the first box set. Only in the Monstrous is written by Nick Briggs, and it's his baby. I would say it's probably the strongest. You're getting Nick Briggs doing everything he does very well, which is war stories. He's great at war stories, and Dalek stories. He's great at Dalek stories. It's also good at moral ambiguity. Like Nick Briggs, I can certainly see him being like, his brain being like just lit on fire as a little boy was watching Genesis of the Daleks and seeing Tom Baker hold those two strands of wire up together. Say, do I have the right? Do I? And I just think that is just wonderful prime Doctor Who. Fine, so let's go through this box set. So it starts off. The War Doctor has retired from the war. He's sick of it. He's done with it. But also, he's sick and he's done with using the name Doctor. He doesn't want to be the Doctor. He thinks he doesn't have the right to be the Doctor. And it's so you feel for the character so much. It's so painful because you can see he's cutting himself off from who he is and everything that he absolutely loves. So and they do it. They do it very well. So. The whole tone of, especially this first story, which you can get for free, which I recommend wholeheartedly, The Innocent, is him being coaxed back into the war, being coaxed back in through a friendship with the Innocent, with the Innocent. Great story here. Let's read the introduction. It goes the Daleks as the Daleks mass their time fleet for a final assault on Gallifrey. I will say this about this phrase: the Daleks mass their fleets for a final assault on Gallifrey quite a few times. Okay, you can mash your fleets for a final assault just really one time. I remember when before they caught and killed Bin Laden, which was documented in a movie. Was it 0-30? I can't remember. But apparently the way they caught Bin Laden was boring him to death, which is really what that movie was like. But before then they kept saying, we got the number 2 guy in whatever in Afghanistan. And they said that about 4 or 5 times. I'm like, dude, you can only get the number 2 guys. I mean, I understand you killed number 2 guy, number 3 guy comes number 2, but you can only do that so many times, and people go, oh, that's pretty impressive. So fine, as the Daleks mass their time fleet for a final assault on Gallifrey, but you can hear that like very war Dalek-y thing. So it delivers everything you want. Something is ancient is waiting for them at Omega 1, and a sacrifice must be made. Arch Manipulator and Time Lord strategist Cardinal Alistra. So this is what's her name? Jacqueline Pierce. Jacqueline Pierce, who you'll know from Surfland Blake 7. She's fantastic and has also passed away. As she's the behind the scenes like Black Ops Time Lord manipulator, and she's really good. She's really fantastic, and they got a very interesting relationship, I would say, between John Hurt's War Doctor and Cardinal Alistra. But she knocks it out the park in this one. Great idea for a character, even better casting, right? So Cardinal Alistra receives shock news of the Doctor's death. Meanwhile, on the planet Keshka, which I think most of the story takes place on, a parochial war has returned to plague peaceful civilization after decades of tranquility. But how can such a war have any connection to the Great Time War? Everything has a great connection to time. Actually, I'll be honest with you. The only thing I didn't like about this is Russell T Davies's description of the Time War in was it Rose? In the prelude to Rose. They did an audio version during lockdown. Jake Dubin read it. That was way better. That was much more how I imagine the time. This is much more like people in like space space barges firing things at each other. I think Russell Davis' version was better, I think it was more, but it's a bit too bonkers, right? But this is much more grounded. Back in the episode, it was a great time war. And was it at any one moment the whole eternity could come and threaten and turn itself apart. If only the Doctor was still alive. So again, this is about the Doctor trying to retire. Let me just have a look who did these covers, because I'm going to show you all the covers, and they are freaking awesome. So Tom Webster did the covers, and yeah, you can tell he knows. He totally knows what he's doing. So the second story is The Thousand Worlds. Let's look at that cover. Doink. There you go. Again, look at that. Freaking awesome. I mean, like all those he really did. Excellent job on this. With the high-ranking Time Lord Ceratics behind enemy lines. Again, yeah, very, very traditional war story. By the way, if you like Nick Briggs' war story, there's a great Tom Baker release called Destroy the Infinite, I think, maybe. I have to look it up. But it's a fourth Doctor story with Tom Baker, and it was based on Sink the Bismarck. And it really works. It really works really well. One of the best, and it's got this villain in it called the Evidence, which I wish they'll bring back. They're just fantastic. I love those that villain. So the War Doctor finds themselves assigned to the rescue mission, but any room for maneuver is severely restricted by an aerospace known as the Null Zone. Don't remember this at all, but I just remember really enjoying it. Times have changed on Keshka, and a countdown to destruction begins. Yeah, I kind of remember this. This is the only one where they're all kind of like linked together into one narrative, but you can list them individually as well. But who are the Talians and their part in the great and terrifying Dalek plan? Couldn't tell you. Don't remember. I just remember it being pretty darn good. And then the final story in this initial box set. So you have 12 stories, which I just think makes it, rather than being like a little curio, like, oh yeah, we couldn't get Crystal Eccleston back, and they probably could have. Stephen Moffat didn't want to do it because he could tell Eccleston didn't really want to do it. So it really worked well. This War Doctor, I would say, this is a trick you can only do once. You can't convincingly insert new lives, new regenerations of the Doctor Who without it seeming a bit clunky. And it's a bit of a backhanded swipe at the current series. if you were wondering, it is. My cards on the table. I really don't like the current era Doctor Who. I don't like it at all. It's the first Doctor Who I have ever not liked, and I think they just copy badly, especially last season. Copy badly things that we've seen before, amongst other reasons. But anyway, that's that. Let's talk about Doctor Who that we can all get behind and all love, which is this. So again, another fantastic cover. Look at that, Jacqueline Pearce in Time Lord regalia, absolutely marvelous. This also has who is it again? Plays this ongoing Time Lord army person. It's Beth Chalmers. Beth Chalmers is Veclin. So Veclin, what they're doing in, I think the 8th Doctor Rangers, the Time War Rangers, and the Water, you do have a background of characters which they do share between them, and it does, like, all the Time War stuff kind of like feels like it's in the same universe. But again, this one's the pinnacle. So the heart of the battle. Trapped in a citadel, swarming with Daleks. The Time Lord rescue force must find a way to overcome insurmountable odds. Again, basically, it's like, what's it? No, I'm just remembering, the Guns of Navarone. It's one of those. It's like get in behind enemy lines and do something type of story. For me, totally works. So the Time Lord rescue force must find a way to overcome insurmountable odds, with the Daleks apparently planning to rule the Null Zone. Perhaps their thirst for universal conquest and victory has been quenched. Probably not. Probably not. The War Doctor doesn't believe so. But how can he prove it without destroying any chance of peace? So it doesn't strike me as something that the War Doctor will be that upset about destroying any chance of peace. As the countdown to destruction on Keshka proceeds, a deadly force must be made. A choice that will define this Doctor and perhaps forever cast him in the role of monster. Yeah. So this ends up with a really great line from from the from the title, the monstrous. When Alistra says, where Doctor, where will we find you again? And it sounds like in the heart of battle, where the blood is running thickest, where only the monsters survive. Again, that you see this like self-hatred, and this of himself and becoming this war monster, like this utter self-hatred of him, and it just played so realistically, and I think it has such a real understanding of what the character of the Doctor is and what a War Doctor would be. So yeah, this one knocks it out of the park. Is $25 for download. 100% recommend. This is the best of the War Doctor range, and I think the War Doctor range is probably one of the best that Big Finish have produced. So yeah, strong recommend. Plus, you get the first episode for free. Again, recommend it strongly. Let's move on to box set number 2. Infernal Devices. So this one, they try and do something different with each box set, which I really quite liked. This one, David Warner's in. I can't remember who he plays. This one is basically dealing with massive weapons of war and weapons of destruction, infernal devices. So let's have a look at the covers again. We got to just change this one over here. And okay, so I remember, David Warner's in this. See, who does he play again? Let me have a look at the cast. Cast list. David Warner plays Shot of Arc. Don't remember. Don't remember. I just really remember. I just remember like it. Okay, so this one is out of stock on CD. Doesn't matter. Get yourself this one. Again, absolutely worth it. So the general overview for the box it is. As a consequence, we are only. But I was reading their disclaimer that they've just sold out. They sold out the physical disc. Fine. In the midst of the Time War, Daleks and Time Lords bring to bear all weapons that they can find, unleashing untold devastation. But if just one of these infernal devices can provide an advantage, however small, they could mean victory. Which is basically the plot of the first War Master set, which is also really freaking good. Really good. While the Daleks experiment with new ways of waging war, Cardinal Elistra seeks out arcane and mysterious armaments of her own. She will have the assistance of Gallifrey's greatest warrior, regardless whether he's willing to help or not. Yeah, that's essentially the tone of this. Both sides think the unthinkable. And the consequences of the universe could be catastrophic, but Time War must be won at any cost. So the first story is Legion of the Lost. This is by John Dorney. John Dorney, always a very, very reliable choice of writer. In a Time War, every victory must be exploited. In the Time War, the unthinkable must be fought, and neither side can afford the consequence of. Can afford to be squeamish about the methods. Yeah, so this really gets into the moral ambiguity that the War Doctor finds himself in constantly. When the destruction of an obscene weapon leads to the Time Lord once known as Doctor uncovering a secret Gallifreyan initiative, he cannot believe what is being considered. So yeah, this is an ongoing trait of the War Doctor. He keeps saying, "Oh, I'm too terrible. I'm not the Doctor anymore. I can't be the Doctor." But he's always basically doing good stuff like this. Should victory be sought at any cost? Are there worse possibilities than losing to the Daleks? Really? No, I don't think so. So again, absolutely gorgeous cover. Let me have a look. I think it's the same cover artist for all of them. Let's have a look. Tom Webster. Tom Webster did a fantastic job. Move on to the next one. And the reason I'm excited to show you this is just because I love the covers. I mean, look at this. You got the Dalek eye. You got like this new series Dalek, a weird monstery thing. A thing of guile. I kind of remember this one. This one I think is the creepiest one as I recall. Thing go. The Daleks are developing a secret weapon on asteroid Theta 12. It is imperative that their plans are uncovered. Cardinal Illustra, again, Jacqueline Pierce, absolutely fantastic, has a handful studying a range of ancient and mysterious armaments the ancient of the universe has to offer. But she makes it a personal mission to investigate this investigate the Dalek project. On this dangerous assignment, there is one particular Time Lord she wants by her side, and he will accompany her whether he wants to or not. You see, that basically happens. That happens quite a lot. He's basically forced to do stuff. So yeah, this was by Phil Mulroney. I know the name, but I can't remember what else he's done. And then the final disc in the set, the Nether Webb. This one I do remember is by Matt Fitton. On an isolated world ravaged by battle, time itself has become a weapon, laying waste to all those who live and die there. Yeah, this has a like was a Dalek Master Plan time destructory feel to it. Yeah, but like time's doing funky things. Arms and technology are in a state of flux, and it seems that their everlasting war is their only option. The arrival of one battered Type 40 TARDIS inside this nightmare offers hope to the combatants within, but when he discovers the true horrors of the Neverwhen, will the true horrors of the Neverwhen will shock even the War Doctor. Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, a lot of time he goes, "Oh no, this is the worst thing ever." that does happen quite regularly. Fine, let's move on to the third one. Third box, I think, is I would say by a microscopic hair the weakest of the four. But it's really, again, 100% strong recommend for this entire range. So yeah, I did an interview with Nick Briggs a month or so ago, maybe more. Go and check it out on my channel if you haven't seen it. As I'm like going through all everything on the Big Finish site that we're talking all his work, there's a little green sticker that said, "You got this, you got this, you got," and like Nick pointed it out. They look, he giggled about it. And I thought I should have said, Nick, and I think anybody else listening who is like a rabid Doctor Who fan with grey hair like me, the idea of there being an era of Doctor Who that you're not part of, that you haven't seen, is just unthinkable. Like, but when he said it, I was going past one of the third Doctor box sets, the last one. Freaking awesome! That one is freaking awesome. The last one, the one with there's a Dalek one with the Brigadier in it played by John Carter. Absolutely perfect. I know, going on the side, absolutely perfect. But like the idea of there being a third Doctor story that you haven't heard before, like a full audio drama cast, like it's just unthinkable. Of course, yes, of course, yeah, I'm gonna get it. So, so this one, Agents Cast. This deals with agents, basically, like roguey time agents involved in the Time War. So let's start off. The first one of this, I think I remember the best. The first one, here we go. Let's see. Again, excellent covers. Okay, I'm guessing Tom Webb's. Let's have a quick look. Tom Webb's. Good choice. The war between the Daleks and Time Lord rages across history of the cosmos. Nowhere is safe. Worlds are ravaged by battles beyond their understanding. But certainly other races can hunger for the fight in the ultimate conflict. Yes. That was an interesting. The Sontarans are in this. They're going, what the hell? We're the greatest warriors in the world. Why aren't we in the Time War? This is kind of reminds me of a book that was never published. I think by Lance Parkin, which was in the 8th Doctor BBC range in, I guess, before before the 2005 series came out, they had a time war, and the war, and they trying to work out who the enemy of the Time Lords were. The ultimate answer was a bit disappointing, but the book, Enemy of the Daleks, was basically the Daleks going, wait, there's the biggest war in history, we're in it. Where the Sontarans are doing roughly the same thing. When Earth comes under threat, the War Doctor is drawn into Alyssa's schemes once again. Yes, ongoing trope of the War Doctor. But the wily Time Lord Cardinal has not foreseen every move. The Dalek strategist, and a great new Dalek. I really, really, really enjoy this Dalek, and I like the way Nick Briggs imbues each different Dalek with its own kind of personality. Really, it's a really great job. I have to tell you, one of my favourite moments in Modern Who with Daleks was the Daleks in Manhattan, when one Dalek wants to talk to the other one, and they think Dalek 6 lost it. They come up, and little eye stalk turns around to make sure nobody's looking before they talk with each other. I just like those little bits of personality in Daleks, and you really get that over here. Has its own game pieces in play when volatile forces with their own agenda join the fray. No one can predict how the war might turn. Fine. So the first story, So the first story takes place on Earth. It's kind of like a Cold War story of like espionage, and espionage is basically the feel of this whole box set. So episode 1, the Shadow Vortex by David Llewellyn, another really strong writer. He did a lot of work in the Survivors range, as I recall. But he's normally a reliable bet. Colonel Alistra exploits the War Doctor's affection for Earth and sends him to Berlin, 1961, on the trail of a Dalek agent. Lara Zanis has breached the planet's quantum shield on a very special mission for the Dalek Time Stretchers. Caught between MI6 and the KGB, the War Doctor must escape the Stasi before he can hope to stop Lara. Cold War scientists are about to make a breakthrough. The Daleks want control of the Shadow Vortex, and Agent Zanis can provide it. Again, a very like Cold War-y, espionage-y story going on with the war in the backdrop. So the next one is the Eternity Cage, and again, just great Sontarans in this on the cover. I like the Sontaran warships. You see it's in the background. Dan Starkey is the voice of the Sontarans, and he's freaking awesome at it. He is the voice of Sontarans as much as Nick Briggs is the voice of the Daleks. Fine. Whoop, I'm pressing the wrong button. Let's have a look. So episode 2, the Sontarans, the Ultimate Warriors. So they believe. Sontarans are the Ultimate Warriors, so they believe. And the Time War, the Ultimate Conflict. Denied that glory by Skara and Gallifrey alike, General Fisk of the 8th Sontaran battle fleet employs a dangerous strategy to draw both sides into the planet Ravidia and provide his forces and prove his forces worthy. Meanwhile, the War Doctor leads a rescue mission. Rescue mission aided by the Ravidian street urchin Kalan. Yeah, they did that. That's a basic ongoing trope as well. Finds like some innocent street urchin or innocent person that becomes the War Doctor's companion for like 10 minutes. Otherwise it's like Venklin or like some soldier in the Time War. And neither Daleks nor Time Lords expect Sontarans to be a fearsome foe until they discover the secret of the Eternity Cage. Yeah, so they've done some like weird, crazy thing, basically to piss off the Daleks and the Time Lords and get themselves in the Time War. So there we go. This is the final one. And again, another great cover. I just love the Dalek Time Controller at the top. I'd love there to be a really good 5-inch figure of it. I saw Eagle Moss put out like a small one. No, I want a decent size, like a 5-inch figure, and I don't know, maybe it'd be really cool if they could do something with those like things crossing each side. They could do remember Superman, the first Superman movie, when you got like General Zod and the other two in the blue in the weird oscillated thing. That's basically just two circles, at an angle, turning, and it looks like they're rotating on each other. I really wish they would do something like that with the little crisscrossy thing around the Dalek. But again, another great Dalek. So this one's by Ken Bentley, The Eye of Harmony. In the aftermath of events on Ravidia, the time strategist, is presented with a unique opportunity to strike a lethal blow into the heart of Gallifrey. A devastating power is set to be unleashed, and with agents in place to do the bidding of the Dalek time strategist, the future of the Time War could turn in an instant. Trapped inside a critically damaged battle TARDIS, helpless and adrift in the time vortex, the War Doctor and his allies have a desperate fight on their hands. Yeah, that's a fair intro. Yeah, totally worth it. And I think it kind of ends a little bit on a cliffhanger. I really don't recall, but I'm pretty sure it does. Into the next and the final box set, which is Casualties of War. This is the one with Leela in it. And it's so good. Leela is an early casualty of the Time War, and what happened to her? Bit sad, but it fits. It really fits, and I really think it works. But this is for such an important character, you are getting to see like what could be possibly her ultimate fate. So let's look at the first one. The first one is a bit of a interesting fish. This one I don't think has Leela in it. It has Mark Elstrop, who was the prisoner in the prison series, pretty good in that, and he's also in Nick Briggs's other original drama, Human Frontier, which personally I really liked. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was a really clever little series. Fine. So, but this one takes place, as I recall, like basically away from the main away from the main action, and deals mostly with a how would I call him, a naive war reporter. Fine. So the blow for the boxer is the Doctor and Colin are stranded far from the Time Lord's forces, with the Daleks closing in. Yeah, this is kind of the cliffhanger sort of the last one. If I'm remembering rightly, destroying all that stands between them. They must call on the help of new friends to fight new friends and old to fight their way back to the front lines from the outer reaches of the galaxy to the heart of Gallifrey itself. The Doctor finds casualties in every place. In every place the Time War touches. Amongst them, a fighter, a traveling companion on a distant past who remembers him quite differently. A warrior named Leela. Hello, Leela. So, Pretty Little Lies. Pretty Little Lies is the first story by Guy Adams. Again, 100% bankable name. If his name's on the cover, I would recommend it. Trapped and desperate, light years from their armies, and the heart of the armies and the heart of the Time War. The War Doctor and Cardinal Alyssa discover that wherever they go, destruction follows. A war reporter, which is kind of like the main part of the story. A war reporter named Shandell may provide the key to their escape, but it is often said that the first casualty of war is truth. So that's basically the you're looking at war propaganda in this one, which I think is a good idea. So the casualty of war in this one is truth. Which I think is a nice idea. When the choice between grim reality and a hero story means life or death, will the Doctor allow Shando to print the legend? Yeah, I remember it. This is essentially a fan of the Doctor doing a story, doing a intergalactic story on him and building him up to be this great hero. While again, this War Doctor is ravaged with guilt and self-doubt and self-loathing. So yeah, he's not really on board for it. It's fine. But then at the on the next disc, yes, we get to see Leela comes. Is this Leela comes in this one? Yes, Leela comes in this one. Lady of the Obsidian, and we find out what happens to Leela. Let's see if they tell us in the blurb. As the Dalek strike fleet heads towards to destroy another defenseless world, the Doctor seeks help from a shadowy guerrilla force. Yeah, that shadowy guerrilla force run by Leela. Yeah, led by Leela. So Leela is essentially in this one, I think. This is by Andrew Smith. If you ever seen Apocalypse Now, she is Colonel Kurtz. She is the guy who's gone insane from the war and like leads guerrilla force, this incredibly strong, powerful guerrilla force. The Time War leaves many casualties in its wake. Inside the Obsidian Nebula, the monstrous unlived are held at bay only by the Lady and her dwindling band of fighters. So I think the unlived are like these potential life that never happened, but they're kind of like big monster. Basically, they're the guy from the cover. That's basically what it is. The War Doctor soon finds herself at the Time Lady's mercy, and two old friends face new revelations. So essentially, what's happened to her? This is I don't know why they didn't just explain this on the cover. Essentially, what's happened to her? She's been a victim of a time weapon that has disconnected her from time, and also there's different versions of her occupying the same space. Again, Louise Jameson always gives a wonderful performance. But again, we're seeing a whole new layer of Leela, a new depiction of Leela, and it just incredibly authentic. So the time. The range, I would say, the season. Yeah, again, I say 12 episodes. I'll call that season. Ends up with this one, the Enigma Dimension. This one's written by Nick Briggs, and he tries to like bring. I mean, it doesn't. You know, they could go on and do more, but unfortunately, John Hurt passed away. So fine. Let's read the blurb of it. The Dalek Science Specialist has a new plan to ensure final victory in the Time War. You see, again, they're massive. They're about to do their final assault again. Yeah, okay. As its forces gather for a huge assault on the enemy, ahead of the fleet? Ahead of the fleet. Something hovers above the planet, the Time Lords, and Gallifrey itself. And Gallifrey itself. Shadows and on Gallifrey itself, that makes more sense. On Gallifrey itself, shadow move amongst the cloisters. Yeah. Oh, I now remember this one. Yeah, it's a really interesting silent invasion story. This is a good one. Yeah, this is a good. They're all good. Okay, and they're all good. All strong recommends from me. The Time Lords face a threat from the Time Lords face a threat alien to their entire universe. To save the world, the Doctor and his allies must enter the Enigma Dimension. What's the Enigma Dimension? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter at all. But yeah, so then essentially this is the missing time, the missing Time War, the missing era that we never got. John Hurt is just freaking excellent in it, just absolutely excellent. If you're hankering for a bit of more John Hurt afterwards, I can recommend this as well. The Invisible Man, great production of it, starring John Hurt, adapted by Jonathan Barnes. Jonathan Barnes is great. Jonathan Barnes is just great. It's got a great cast, and they kind of segue into a Sherlock Holmes story. Which it was like, look at the latest Sherlock Holmes story release. But again, John Hurt, as always, absolutely excellent. So yeah, so that unfortunately is it for the War Doctor, or is it? Because I had an idea, which I just wish Big Finish would take on. I would love to see a young War Doctor Chronicles, like a young War, because we saw John Hurt, in a reflection in his goblet when the Eighth Doctor regenerated, like a young John Hurt. So who could play it? I don't know if Jake Dubman can pull it off, but I would like to hear him try and do a young John Hurt, because I think if he could, he's a great actor, he's got a great use of voice. I really think that could be, if he can do it, fantastic. If not, not. But, absolutely fantastic. This is a great range. If I've been coy about that, I apologize. This is a great range. I recommend each and every one of them to you. Start with the first one. Totally worth your money. And I think you will just be grateful for having heard this lost piece of Doctor Who lore. So there you go. That's my guide to the War Doctor at Big Finish. My name is Leela Beck, and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.